Do I look just defeated? Do I look just bored out of my mind? It's good that I look that way, because tonight's Raw, for it to be the go-home show, the show before the second biggest pay-per-view the company has, it was boring for most of it. Nothing really mattered for most of it. We didn't set up anything really going forward. For it to be the go-home show, I'm very disappointed. I fell asleep almost a bunch of times, and that shouldn't happen on the go-home show. But let's talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. We must. Here we go.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door. Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
What's up, jabroni? Steven here, and that intro pretty much says how I felt about the show last night. Last night's Raw wasn't a bad show, at least I don't think it was. It was just a boring show for the most part. I mean, I can't even really think of what major things happened that move the story going forward, what major things happened that are going to be memorable to me. Like right now, I'm drawing a blank on what memorable things happened. And I don't think it was a bad show. I just think that it's the show before SummerSlam. It's the show that is supposed to be the go-home show, the one that's supposed to get us pumped, excited, and it didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, this is the show before we introduce a brand new belt, a brand new Universal Championship, and it was boring, very boring. There were snippets here and there that I enjoyed, but for the most part, nothing really happened. And that shouldn't happen on the go-home show. And that's where my frustration comes in, is that I wanted more. We deserve more. We expected more. Instead, what we got was a average Raw that, because it was the go-home show, just felt like a pointless, upsetting Raw. So Raw started with Rusev coming out with Lana and demanding that Roman Reigns apologize, that Roman Reigns embarrassed his brand new wife. And pretty much Rusev wanted Roman Reigns to come out and kind of beg Roman Reigns and say, I am sorry that I disrupted your wedding ceremony, or whatever the hell it was that happened last week. And for the most part, this was fine. A decent intro, I guess. I don't know how you don't start the show with Finn Balor or anybody, but whatever. This is the intro we got. And what ended up happening is that Mick Foley comes out, Stephanie McMahon comes out, they get into a discussion, and then Roman Reigns comes out, and he is out there telling them that he doesn't need to apologize, and that he is going to say sorry, though. He's sorry about Lana being a mail order bride, and that Rusev finding that website, and you know, all these little small things that Roman is doing, I'm actually really liking and I'm really enjoying. I think Roman Reigns is kind of finding his niche. He's finding who he should be, and I'm really digging it. I like what he's doing, and I think that this is the best way for Roman. People are starting to come around. They're not booing him as much, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that he's not getting booed, and I think this is where he should be. I said that last week, but I like that he's funny. He's being a smart ass, and I'm enjoying him so far, and this rivalry is pretty good, so I'm liking it. Next, we got Sheamus versus Sami Zayn, and the match was fine, and Cesaro was on commentary, and I didn't understand what the point of this match was, but while I was watching it, I was worried that they were going to bury Sami Zayn, like give him the loss to Sheamus, and I was like, oh my god, no. And Cesaro gets involved, Sami gets the win, whatever. Sami's not at SummerSlam, upset to holy hell that he's not even in the SummerSlam card, whatever, that's what they're doing, fine. Then in the back, Sheamus and Cesaro get into it, and the words that come out of Mick Foley's mouth as he's intervening between these two men is, we're going to do a best of 7 series between Sheamus versus Cesaro. And the first one is going to start at SummerSlam. We're going to get Sheamus versus Cesaro 7 more fucking times. Are you kidding me right now? Who asked for this? Who wanted this? When they say that Cesaro is being wasted on Raw and should be on SmackDown, this is why. How is this a fucking thing? How is this a thing? Oh my god, 7 of these matches. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. Oh my god. There was an awesome backstage interview with Todd Phillips, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens, and they kept saying his name wrong, and I thought that was funny, and I enjoyed that little small segment that they had there, and I very much liked what they're doing. The stupid idiot, them being tagged together makes perfect sense. I don't understand how these two men are not singles competitors right now. Maybe they'll be a tag team, and then the same thing that happened with Jericho and AJ happens, where these two guys kind of beef and then they have a feud. I don't know. I'm not sure what's gonna happen here, but I'm enjoying this little thing. I'm liking it. I'm having fun with it. I enjoyed this little segment. They kept saying his name wrong. I thought it was funny. We also had a match between Cass and Kevin Owens, and Enzo did his whole thing at the beginning. It was fine. It's what Enzo does. And this match had Enzo at ringside, Jericho at ringside. This match was okay. It was fine. I mean, both competitors are pretty good. I mean, Kevin Owens is amazing and Cass is pretty good. In the end, Jericho attacks Enzo, and then Kevin Owens and Jericho straight up go after Cass and try to beat him up. This segment was fine. They beat up Cass. They go after the big man because, of course, you can take out Enzo easier. It didn't really do much to like add fuel to the fire that wasn't already there, but it was a fine match. It was a fine little segment, so I dug it for what it was. We had another Gallows Anderson video where they're talking about posteitis or something like that, about the nuts and balls of Big E, and again, these two guys do a fantastic job of showing their charisma. I really dug it. I really enjoyed it. The New Day had a match against the Dudley Boyz. They squashed the Dudley Boyz in like less than 5 minutes. Holy shit, the Dudley Boyz got destroyed. I don't understand that. Whatever. So yeah, this is an interesting match going into SummerSlam. I really feel that Gallows and Anderson will be having the win here, so it just makes sense, but we'll have to wait and see and find out. But I like this little vignette video. Next, we had the weekly squash match. This time it was Nia Jax to get her turn, and she squashed a nobody, a local talent. Really quick, really easy, and I don't know, man. Later in the show, they talked about how Braun Strowman is the most dominant force, but how are we supposed to believe that when he's dominating local talent that looks like crap? I don't get what you're doing, WWE. Dominant force? Really? Him and Nia Jax are squashing nobodies, but they're dominant force? Okay. Next, we had the most entertaining segment of the night for me, which was the Paul Heyman, Heath Slater, Brock Lesnar triangle that was happening. I very much enjoyed it. Paul Heyman is in the ring doing what he does, and out comes Heath Slater, and Heath Slater is killing it right now. I am loving it. He's showing heart, compassion. He's showing a lot of charisma. I'm loving Heath Slater right now. Of course, he says that he has to fight Brock, and he's saying that he has to do this, and he doesn't want to do this. He's doing it because he has to put food on the table, and I liked it. And Brock, for a brief second, seemed like he was believing it, and then he just destroyed Heath Slater. But I'm liking it. I'm liking Heath Slater on Twitter. I'm liking Heath Slater in these segments. I'm really digging Heath Slater, and I hope that this ends around SummerSlam, and I hope he proved himself. But I really dug it. I really liked it. I like Heath Slater, and I like what he's doing here, and it beats the Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar things that we've been always getting. This kind of spiced it up, gave it a little bit of a different feel, and I liked it. Then we had a confusing segment, which was the primetime players versus the, what the hell are these guys called again? Shining Stars. Yeah, they're forgettable. Yeah, they are primetime players are now a tag team. Okay, sure. They didn't really explain that. They showed a little bit of a video, but that's not enough to make these two guys be friends after what happened last week. Nonetheless, the match happens. It ends in the weirdest ways. It started in the weirdest way. Whatever the hell Bob Backlund was doing during their little millions of dollar thing was weird. And then in the ring, it was weird. Something happened where Darren Young hit Titus. Titus attacked Darren Young. The Shining Stars wins. And okay, weird, pointless. Why? Next, we had Neville versus Jinder Mahal, and Jinder Mahal got no pop when he came out. Neville got very small pop when he came out, and it's just, I thought Jinder Mahal was going to come in and do something. Instead, he's kind of here just to get squashed. But what I don't get is we already had talent on Raw that could have been getting squashed. You know, we had Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. We had guys that you can squash. Why bring in Jinder Mahal on this show when you could have put him on SmackDown? Whatever. Yeah, Neville beats him, and that's the end. It's okay. Okay. Throughout the night, they were doing this weird thing where Seth Rollins was looking for the Demon King. Why don't I just call him Demon Finn? That's what we call him as fans. Whatever. Seth Rollins was doing this thing where he kept looking for him under behind paintings and just this idiotic stuff. Yeah, and then he gets to the back, and Mick Foley tells him, call him out to the ring. Like, it's so bad, so poorly put together. We all know that was gonna happen. We knew that's how you make Finn Balor come out. Like, Finn Balor's whole demon thing is his entrance. Without his entrance, there's no point. Like, what are you doing? There could have been a better way to do this. Nonetheless, Finn Balor comes out, huge pop, people doing his little thing. It's fun, it's great. They could have saved this for SummerSlam. It might have had a better pop there, but whatever. They use it here. and then he just kind of goes after Seth Rollins, or Seth Rollins goes after him, I can't remember. But they fight, they do their whole little thing, flying, showing how great Finn Balor is, and yeah, this match I still think is going to steal the show at SummerSlam. I think it's going to be an amazing match. But yeah, this kind of fell for me. It wasn't great for me. I don't know. It didn't grab me the way I wanted it to. So it was fine, but not the big spectacle that it could have been. Next, we had Gallows and Anderson versus the Golden Truth, and this is another one of those squash matches where Gallows and Anderson need to look strong the way that the New Day looks strong against the Dudley Boyz. My biggest problem with this match is that Golden Truth put up a fight. They actually put up a real legitimate fight, and Gallows and Anderson looked weaker, especially than the fact that the Dudley Boyz are believed to be stronger than Golden Truth, but the New Day squashed them in like less than 5 minutes. It was just weird that the Golden Truth got more in the match against Gallows and Anderson before they won. Gallows and Anderson end up winning, and then they get attacked by the New Day, which is shocking because the New Day are the face. But they attack Gallows and Anderson, and this is a match that I'm super pumped for, and I think this is the ending of the New Day, so we'll find out. But I dug this match, or this after the match segment. I really did. I dug it. Next, we had Dana and Charlotte getting into a bit of a verbal thing in the back where Charlotte says that it's her time and Dana kind of looking at her. Maybe we get a Dana turn at SummerSlam. Maybe Emma comes back. I don't know. Nonetheless, Charlotte had a match against Alicia Fox. Quick, easy match, squash match. Sasha Banks was on commentary. Charlotte calls her out, and then Dana Brooks and Charlotte beat up Sasha Banks. That's pretty much what happened in this match. It was fine, nothing here exciting. What I'm expecting to happen is Dana turns on Charlotte. They have a feud going forward, and maybe Bayley comes up. I'm not exactly sure. I'll do my predictions and we'll talk about that. But yeah, this was fine. And then we had the main event of the evening. Now, the main event isn't what you expected it to be. It wasn't for the big title with Finn and Seth. It was for the US title between Rusev and Roman. They ended up having a match, and the match was, holy shit, really good. Like, this match was really good. When I say that there were segments that were better than just fine, this is one of those segments where I was watching and I'm like, why would you give us this match like on Raw and not on SummerSlam? The match was really good. Really, really good. And I don't know how you're going to be able to top that at SummerSlam, because this match was really good. Like, really good. And Roman ends up winning with, like, he was breaking out of some crazy stuff. Rusev looked insanely strong, insanely dominant. And I don't know, I dug this match. I thought this match was really good. A lot of great spots, or smaller spots, but I really like this match a lot. And it worries me that their SummerSlam match is not going to be as good. Maybe that's why they gave them this match. You know, we're going to give you a little bit of a spotlight here. That way, when SummerSlam comes around and you're not the big deal, then, you know, that's what happens. I don't know. But I dug the match for what it... But I really liked the match. I thought it was entertaining. The crowd seemed to be into it. And I think it was a good way to end the show. Maybe? I don't know. I still think that when you're bringing a new title, you should end the show with that. Maybe they should have ended the show by showing the new title. It would have made sense. I don't know. But ending it on the US title, I don't know. It could have ended better. And that's pretty much what happened on Monday Night Raw. And as you can see, the show was just fine. That's the problem. It was just fine. It was boring at parts, entertaining at other parts. But for the go-home show, it needs to be entertaining throughout. And it wasn't. For some parts, it was fun. For other parts, it was just kind of boring and pointless. Like, it's the go-home show before SummerSlam. Do big things. Take out some of the gimmick matches. Make the stories matter. I don't know. It just... So many people on Raw are just not at SummerSlam, and it's so upsetting because so many talented guys like Neville, Cesaro is out there, but against Sheamus, no Sami Zayn. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing? SmackDown last week was better than Raw, so maybe SmackDown this week will be better than Raw once again, just because this one didn't feel like the go-home show. It felt like the lead up to the go-home show. Maybe SmackDown will feel like a true go-home show where it's like, this is the end, this is the one that matters, this is gonna build up story. Maybe that's what happens. I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually excited to see what happens on SmackDown. But yeah, that's what happened on Raw. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little review and letting you guys know what you learned or what I learned, you know, that whole little thing. If you did, make sure you guys like the video, comment below, subscribe to the channel. You guys know the deal, pretty much. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about SmackDown. Peace. Visions of sitting high on my own gold throne, never listening criticism, I built my own.